Welcome back to SABC Sports live broadcast of the Old Mutual Two Oceans Marathon. We just saw the half marathon get underway, and it's about 10 minutes to go before we see the ultra. That's the 56-kilometer voyage get underway. Gentlemen, thank you very much for speaking to me. Willie, as a 1990 winner of the ultra, who's your favorite for the 56?
For the 56, I don't think Stephen will make it because this is feeling very strong. I think we might have a new winner.
I agree. I think today it's going to be the winner of the race will be someone who hasn't won the race before. Not a novice though, but I think we're going to get a few surprises today.
South African?
I hope so.
We all do. Thank you guys very much. We'll be hearing more from you in the commentary box. That's Kieran Walker and William Tolo, part of our expert team that is bringing you the Old Mutual Two Oceans Marathon. Vasiwe is at the start line. She's chatted to a couple of the half marathon starters, and she's got a couple of the 56, those people that are getting ready for the ultra. Vasiwe, how are the conditions changed, or are they exactly the same?
Oh no, Valen, the conditions are exactly the same here at the start line. Now, this is for the ultra marathon. Now, this gentleman to my left here was busy showing me how they actually keep warm. So, there we go. We were all having a warming up exercise here on the start line. Now, Budi, as kulumage, angitshela ukuthi usuyigijima wesingaki manje i-Old Mutual Two Oceans Marathon.
Sizi Old Mutual Two Ocean gijimile ka makhetlo amane lena ke la bohlano.
Okay, uzizwa kanjani namhlanje? Are you feeling confident that you'll do well?
Yeah, I feel good ubani train hard for yona since December kusaphumule, so I know ke tlo etsa better but sub 3 hours.
Okay, there we go. Sub 3 hours for the gentleman to win. Oh, challenging Stephen Muzingi, are we not? Okay, and then I've got this gorgeous lady to my left. Sabana Sisi, how are you?
Hello, and good, and how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Now, this is your first time running in the Two Oceans Marathon. How are you feeling about this?
I'm feeling so good. I'm feeling so free. I feel like I can go now. It's my first time. It's my first 56. I wish I could do the force up, hey? Okay, thanks to my boss. He's the one who made me go and do this.
Okay, the first time around, and we're looking for a sub 4. Good luck to you, lady. And this gentleman here to my left, this is very, very interesting for me. 18 times that he has participated in the Old Mutual Two Oceans Marathon. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Sorry?
How are you doing this morning?
No, fine. We're just caring about the wind, but I think it will be fine.
Okay, now tell me, how different do you think the race will be for you this year in comparison to last year?
Last year it was a bit rainy, so I think it will be a bit easier this year. But we have endured everything in these two oceans yet, so we will see what will happen.
And you've run it 18 times. Tell me, does it get easier for you as an athlete the more you run it?
I think with the experience, but with the age, not. But I think with the experience it will help a bit, yeah.
Okay, and what time are you looking to get today?
Hopefully for silver, we will see.
Okay, well, good luck to you, sir. 18 times, that is phenomenal. Okay, and there we've got Upudi. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, and you, ma'am?
Okay, tell us, how are you looking forward to the race this morning? How well do you think you'll do? And what time are you setting for yourself?
Well, what I can say, today I'm aiming about 3:40. And I see this is my second Two Oceans Marathon. But I think I'll manage to set up the good time this year. And I see the difference because last year it was very cold. But the weather today is looking a little bit better.
The weather today is looking a little bit better, and we've got the gentleman here with the gloves. I don't know how better this weather is looking, but Buti, how are you feeling about the race, Namhlanje?
This today, ke tlile mona ka tsela hore ke tlo wina cause ke tswa hole, ke tswa Free State ke hole hore ke fihle mona. So nako ya ka le training ya ka ke trainile sharp, ke tlo sharp at 3:35.
3:35, good luck to you. And then Puti, I want to know from you, I mean, a lot of people are sitting at home and they're like, I can't take part in the Old Mutual Two Oceans Marathon, it's too tough, it's too difficult. What advice would you give them to just encourage them to actually take part in the marathon?
Yes, I've run two ultra marathons. I'm fully prepared now. I think I'm going to do the best time today, even though there's a lot of wind, but yes, I think as I'm presenting Harmony Gold, I'll make them proud.
And tell me, how did you prepare yourself for the marathon today?
Now, my training is very good. I've done the long runs, 4, 3, 5 hours, so I'm ready today.
You're ready
I'm
today?
more than ready today.
Okay, are you going to take the title away from Stephen Muzingi today?
Stephen Muzingi is not going to make it. Stephen Muzingi, Mama Bolo, I want to show them who I am today. I'm representing Hamburg today. I want to show them who I am today. They'll see me today.
Okay, well, good luck to you. Okay, and then we've got this gentleman here to my left. How are you doing this morning?
Okay, I'm fine, and you, ma'am?
I'm very well, thank you. Now tell us, how have you prepared yourself for the marathon?
Yes, I did. I prepared myself very much because this was for the second time I've been running this to Ocean. And the last time it was the first time, so but I was gaining the experience. So now today I know how the hills where are they. So now I'm going to make it, but I will make it with 4 hours.
And 4 hours. And tell us, what is your game plan? Because you're telling us that last year you were having a difficulty with the hills. So what is your game plan getting into the race today?
No, today I wanted to prove myself because I want to correct the mistake that I've done last time. And then now, because it means when you never run something, because there are a lot of people, they talk about these things, they make you scarce. So now, and then from there, last time I thought, no, it's not so, it's easy for me. So because I made the hills very much, now I train on the hills. Yes.
Okay, cool. Just one more question before we come back to you in Studio Valen. Swami, I want to ask you, I mean, we don't see as many women taking part in the race, whether it be recreational or mhlambe they want to be ama-athletes azogijima ngaso sonke isikhathi. So ungabakhuthaza kanjani abantu besimama abahlezi ekhaya to actually take part, whether they do the ultra marathon or the half marathon, but just to motivate them to actually take part in the Old Mutual Two Oceans Marathon?
Oh, I would say to them, girls, go out there. You can see running, it's great. Running, it's fun. Running, it's relaxing mind. Running, it's a good thing. Just go out there and run. For now, then, this is my first 56 I've been running for. I started to run at 2008, but you go out there, girl, and run. Running is fun. Running is nice. You go there and see. You'll see. Running is good.
Well, there we go. Running is great. Running is fun. You go out there, go and you do it. And that is it coming from us here at the start line for the Ultra Marathon. 56 kilometers. It is going to be exciting. It's going to be great. And of course, a lot of people asking whether or not the defending champions will be able to successfully defend their titles. For that, we'll have to wait and see. But right now, we cross over back to Valen.
Thank you very much, Fasiwa. With me in studio, I've got Helen Luka as well as Noma Nkanyana. Just came back from a freezing Poland after leading our South African cross-country team. But of course, all the focus now shifting to the Old Mutual Two Oceans Marathon, the Ultra. Your favorites, we've got the defending champions, Elena Nurgalieva. Her sisters come back to run with her. And then, of course, on the men's side, we have got the defending champion as well. Who's your favorite, Helen?
I think Elena will possibly take it, but I think she's going to have some challenges this year. It's there's no clear cut. There's some girls who've come from overseas that have got the ability to push her. And there's also another Russian lady that I believe they're a little bit nervous and anxious about, which is great. Makes for a better race.
And Norma, Stephen Muzingi, can he defend his title?
I don't think he can be able to, because the preparation for the Comrades, which is, I think, it's his main focus, is very close by. But I've just sighted him not long ago on Wednesday doing some speed session here in Cape Town. He's trying, and I think he wants to make a history. And you know, these African guys, they really want to make a difference in our both new these big races in South Africa. But I don't think he's got a challenge this time.
And when it comes to the women's race?
It can only be the twins, but the sister would just had a baby now. I don't think she's going to make it that well. There's a lot of challenge with her, but I think the last champion, she's going to make it a big thing, because I don't think they want to lose this any longer. It's just their own event, and they want to make a history out of it.
All right, well, the ladies here in the studio speaking all about those that are wanting to make history in the 56 kilometers, our defending champions, Stephen Muzingi in the men's race, as well as Elena Nurgalieva is back to defend their titles. It's time now to go over to our commentators to bring you the start of the Old Mutual Two Oceans Marathon.
Well, thank you, Valen. And of course, this is the 44th running. This is the real deal. The 56-kilometer ultra marathon. The half marathon has gone their way. The light is just getting behind the runners there. And a record field of over 10,000 entries in one of South Africa's most classic events. We'll talk about the favourites later. At Kieran Walker, this really is just such a fantastic race.
Yes, most definitely. And they don't call it the world's most beautiful marathon for nothing. And around 11,000 entries here today for the ultra, alongside the 16,000 and the 21 kilometer, and you've got a huge field here today, Ian.
It certainly is, and one wonders why they're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, especially in the 56k. But I think it's in graduation. A lot of people moving up from the 21 up to the 56. The fishhorn, one of the traditions of the race.
Yes, the fishhorn has been blown since the inception of Two Oceans back in the 70s, and after this is going to be followed by the gun, and action is underway.
Well, Willie, you've won this race before. What's it like down there?
Yeah, siyabona ngaphela ukuthi ngaphela sezaqala insizwa laphana ezigijima 56 kilometers e2 Ocean. Siyabona ngaphela ukuthi ke ne-weather kona ithanda uba nomoyana kona ngaphela bagijima isikhathi, kodwa siyacabanga uma sibuka i-field lana kunabantu aba-strong lana bangacishe bagijima isikhathi esihle, kodwa angicabanga ukuthi i-record bangasebenza, but I don't think they'll run for the record because it's quite windy.
That's exactly what's going to happen, I think, and of course they're running as they go straight into that wind. It is 6:30 in the morning. Down in Cape Town, the southeaster was pumping yesterday. The cloud was on top of the mountain. I got up this morning, the clouds were scudding across the sky. You could see them coming in, pumping from the south, across from Falls Bay up to Table Bay. But right now these guys are running, it's light, and it will get lighter, but nearly 11,000 people in this race. What a fantastic race.
Yes, most definitely 11,000 athletes here today, and Ian, you mentioned the record earlier. I think after the press conference yesterday where Old Mutual announced that there'll be a 1 million rand incentive should an athlete break the course record next year. So anyone who was going for that course record today, I think is just going to stand back and say, why must I do it this year? I'm coming back next year.
Well, there's no doubt about that. But of course we'll discuss that record at length because there are all sorts of dimensions to it. It's a very interesting concept, and how the race will run, who will come, what sort of tactic, what role the weather will play and all that. So that's for next year. But let's just have a look at these folks now. Every one of them has run a 42 kilometer marathon to qualify in under 5 hours. They've all seasoned runners. They're just not joggers. It's not it's sort of the fun thing out there. It is a very serious race for all these people.
Yeah, siyabona ngaphela ukuthi ke seziqale insolo laphana sedlala imlala ngaphela sikhona lapha ke UCT, and njengoba sengasho ukuthi ke i-weather ayinhle kahle hle ngoba kuthanda uba nomoya, kodwa ke it's better than because if you remember last year it was raining, but today the weather is not going to rain, and siyacabanga ukuthi ke bazogijima kahle ke ngaphela ngoba siyabona ke ngempela ngaphela sebesukile, asazi ngaphela kuzokwenzekani. Siyabona ukuthi nje basasuke nje only 2 minutes basasithathe ngawo, and thatha isikhathi ukuthi la abasemva basuke ngoba baningi abantu abagijima la basibabona ukuthi behamba izandla kusemnandi ke njengamanje, asathi ke olikushaya o10 o9 kuyobe kunjani.
Well, just a reminder that the half marathon has been going now for 33 odd minutes, and one man we haven't mentioned in their queue is Johan van Deventer, who's in that race. He is an Olympic 1500 meter runner, also one of the RAC Tough One last year. He's going to be up front. Yes,
and I think the athletes around him will be very scared of him. He's the only South African to ever make the final of a 1500 meter final in the Olympic Games, and you know, he's made a good transition to the road, and the races he has run on the road, he's won them. So perhaps today it's going to be a very, very exciting race, but he's going to be up against the likes of Stephen Mokoka, a couple of the Lesotho and Zimbabwean athletes, and of course the defending champion Khulisa Tiali.
Well, moving away from the half, those guys must be around about 11 or 12 Ks almost, but right now we're still down at the start of the 56 kilometer ultra marathon. As I said earlier, the 44th running of this race, and we now have runners, a couple of them that have done more than 40, including Noel Stamper, who's done 41, but Noel is not running anymore. We got Kufo's up there. It's a lot of people with green, the blue numbers, which is for more than 10. And Cape Town is waking up. Cape Town, of course, wakes up later. We all know that. Durban, you guys in Durban get up early because the sun gets up, but Cape Town is a kind of a slow place early in the morning, but the city's waking up. Look at that.
Yeah, I think Cape Town, very, very relaxed place to be. It's very beautiful. It is the world's most beautiful marathon, dubbed this year's Two Oceans. And I was just mentioning to Valen when we were in the studio that if I was outside right now in Durban, I'd be wearing a t-shirt, but not here today in Cape Town. It is very chilly.
Willie, if you think about the leaders now, we'll get shots of the leaders. They're running straight into the wind. What do? Do you try and hide behind somebody? Do you do duck and dive, or do you just run in the wind?
I think in a weather like that, because it's quite windy, it's better if you run behind. And njengoba sibona njengamanje ngaphela ukuthi siyazibona insizwe laphana edlala imlala, siyabona insizwe leader laphana egijimela yona ibhlafu, asazi ke ngaphela ukuthi izokwenzeka, noba siyabona ene le nsizwa eziyingwazi zisacashile lapha emva azikaveli kodwa ngicabanga ukuthi ke kuleya group nje lesibonayo eningi laphana ingwazi zilapho la zikhona and siyazi ukuthi ke isikhathi esiningi ke kube nabantu abathanda ukugijima fast from the start and siyabona nensizwa laphana uHetesi ke sike sezwa uHetesi we also heard that Tace is not going to play and is going to run his own race as we know him, he doesn't wait. And siyabona ngempela ukuthi ngempela nazi insizwa laphana ke asazi ke omzingi ukuthi baqashe phi phela kuzocaca khona manje phela basagijime almost about cishe babheke ko 2 kilometers njengamanje kodwa ngempela sazi kwenzekani ke siyabona neweda yinhle izulu lapha sekubona la sitiyela lina kodwa ke siye yihle impela izulu siyazibona insizwa dlala imidlalo laphana siyabona niswa ze Nedbank neze MC Prize asazi kwenzekani.
Running now through the Claremont area. Still quite a wide road. The main road going south is wide double carriageway, so they've got a lot of room on the road. We see Tace was up front, well not up front, but in the leading group. And of course he took the lead in the Comrades Marathon last year, rather interestingly, made life very interesting to watch him. But any thoughts, Kieran, about the early stages?
Yes, it's actually quite interesting, Ian, to see this. You've got this first bunch that you can see is definitely split up from the second bunch. And three interesting athletes there in the colors of Max Delete. Mabutile Lebopo, the former winner of the race, he doesn't ever start really fast like this, so it's very concerning maybe to see him up front, but he's there with Tace. And then in the colors of Nedbank, another former winner, Beto Netchifefe. So although there's a record incentive next year, perhaps the guys are gunning for it today.
Well, who knows, that record of 3:03 set by the late great Thompson Magawana back in 1988. They'll have to run through the standard marathon in around about 2:15, but let's have a look at those two.
I think this is what is bringing these guys forward. You can see the athlete in the front in the colors of Bluff Meets Formula 1. That, Ian, is Timothy Kibet from Kenya. He was the winner of last year's Gauteng Marathon, and if you remember the Soweto Marathon last year, Shadrach Kemboy in the colors of Mr. Price Sport with Timothy, who was running for Nedbank that time, really went out hard. They didn't follow them, and those were the guys who won the race. I think that this is someone that you can't let go.
Well, that's very interesting, because what clubs sometimes do, especially the Bluff Meets one of them, but other clubs do it as well, is send out a guy in front. They do two things. Firstly, they kind of fiddle with the tactics of the real favourites who don't know whether to go with them, but also they get on television, get nice exposure. So that's the Bluff Meets guy. Willie, it's very, very early days though.
Yeah, definitely early. It's still early, but siyabona ngempela njengamanje ngempela siyazi ukuthi ke lezansizwa esizibona lapha ezimbili insizwa ezigijima kahle ngempela ongeluthi babayeke bathi bathole endleleni ngoba siyazi ukuthi kwenzeka lapha insizwa ukuthi umuntu uzombamba endleleni kodwa ungabisamthola, and siyabona nebhantshi eliza lapha eduze liyazi impela nalo alizibekile phasi ngempela asazi kwenzekani ngoba siyabona insizwa zigijima fast lapha asazi kwenzekani ngoba ke ngendlela abagijima ngayo basagijima isikhathi esihle impela bona kodwa asazi ngempela zokwenzekani.
Well, we in the lead, we see Timothy Kibet, the Kenyan, in the colours of Bluff Meets, and alongside him, Ian, William Okwalakwala in the colours of Toyota. And 56 kilometers is a long way. This is the first time that Kibet will be tackling an ultra. He's only run marathons up to 42 k's before, so it's might be a big risk coming out like this, but you know, he is an elite runner and he knows what he's doing.
Very, very athletic man. Makwala is just such a superb looking athlete. And there goes Tace just running out of shot with a 40 on his vest. He's over 40. But these days, the older age group guys, the 40 and 38, are very competitive.
Yes, definitely. And just in the front of the picture here in the Bonitas colors, also another 40-year-old really former winner of this race, Simon Mpulanyane. Interesting to see him up there, but it's quite interesting to see Gert going after Timothy. He did mention yesterday that it would determine how he started the race, what he would do, but really, you know, Gert has got 2:06:33 marathon. He is the SA record holder still, and he was 4th year last year, and maybe he can pull something off today.
I had a chat with him at the media conference. He's very, very confident. He hardly feels his age. He says he's not quite as fast as he used to be, which is not surprising yet over the 10k. But certainly over this distance, I think Willie Gert can be up there, depending if he gets his tactics right.
Yeah, definitely. No, I see as I see that Simon Mpulanyana is also there. Sakumula Mpulanyana, he won that race before. You know exactly what he goes over the 50 kilometers. Sibolile nensizwa ke uHeltesh naye ukhoya lapha phambili ngempela asazi ngezekane uthi sakhumbula ukuthi indoda engalindi leyana from the start ihambe ayilindi abantu asazi ngempela kunzekwenzekanike ngoba yena uchilo wathi hayi uma ngabe kubeke belenza iphutha abamdedela le race angayidla ngoba uzimisela ukuthi ayiwine.
Well, 10 minutes into the 2013 Old Mutual Two Oceans Marathon, and the leaders now in the 56k. Ian, already gone past 3 kilometers, and the back marker is not even at the first kilometer yet.
Yes, they are, and of course they'll stretch out over many kilometers of the race towards the end. The 7-hour cutoff, so at 1 o'clock this 1:30 this afternoon, so I get my maths right. That is the final cutoff for this race. So for many of these people, it is a heck of a long day out there. But for these guys, sub 3:10 is probably going to be needed to get in the top 5. Last year it was around about 3:08, Stephen Mujingi, and it's going to be really interesting to see how Mujingi does. He's got 5 gold medals. He won last year. He was at that stage the holder of both the Comrades and the Two Oceans titles in 1 year, and I don't know if he got it right last year because he didn't do that well in Comrades, so maybe he's holding back a bit. Well, this is where they're running. Down the main road they go, and let's have a look at the route map for the Old Mutual Two Oceans. It's been like this for a long time. They did detour for a couple of years over Oud-Kaapseweg, but the start is in the Newlands area. It runs down straight down through Wynberg towards the ocean at Musenberg, then a little right-hand turn. Those roads are still getting worked on through Fishhook, and then the hills start. The halfway just before Little Chappies, and a big hill down to Hout Bay, downhill into the Constantia Neck. That's the big climb past the 42, and then lovely long run in pretty much downhill all the way, but a little climb at the end up to UCT, 56 kilometers. My goodness, it looks easier on television than it is in life.
Most definitely, and that's a long finish at the end. But here we see the half marathon leaders. They've just come up the long climb up Southern Cross Drive, and Joel Umone here in the lead in the colors of Nedbank. But there we have Stephen Mokoko in the Transnet colors, and next to him Desmond Mokobu in the colors of Max Delete, who last week represented South Africa in the World Cross Country Champs.
Look at the speed, that is really quick, and Southern Cross is a big hill. Willie, they are just moving.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see that they're really moving. They don't. Siyabona ngempela ukuthi insizwe lapha sigijima ngempela, siyabona ukuthi uwafa siyabona ngempela ukuthi asazi ukuthi kwenzeka noba siyabona lezo ezilapha phambili.
Well, 43 minutes gone, and of course we have our bikes out there, and they link through little links on the bikes up to our helicopters, and the trees and the mountains make life a little difficult technically, so that is one of the things that is quite difficult to do. But Cape Town waking up, bit of cloud cover now rolling in. In fact, it's quite dark actually with the cloud above us. Back to the leaders in the 56k.
Yes, back to the leaders in the 56k. William Okwalakwala in the colours of Toyota there with Timothy Kibet, the Kenyan, but there in the colours of Max Delete, Khates, the SA marathon record holder, 2 hours, 6 minutes, 33 seconds. Ian, the fastest man to ever set foot in the Two Oceans Marathon course.
Yes, still he was last year, back again this year with that 206, which was set up quite a long time ago. But I must say that you've got to love Khates. You've got to love him. Look at the guys, over 40, and he doesn't care, he's taking the lead.
Yeah, definitely siyayibona ngempela ke insizwe laphana, ngiba ngeke ngasho ukuthi uTesi ke akalindi ngempela ngoba siyabona ngempela uhleli lapha ebhantshini, and siyabona nale insizwe laphana eZimbabwe laphana ikhona ihleli laphana, siyabona insizwe eBluff laphana asazi ngempela ukuthi kwenzekani ngoba siyabona ukuthi sikasho iminyaka yakhe una 41 years. Kodwa ke uthi le insizwa akazisabi yena ngempela ngoba siyabona ngempela ukuthi uhleli lapha ephesini, siyabona ngempela ukuthi hayi zidlala imlala laphana insizwa, siyabona ziyagqatha khona lena namagqatha ezinye zishayele eduze, asazi ngempela kwenzekani. Kanti uma sibuka laphana omzingi laphana bakusitayele lapha kule bhanti elingemva basathule nje basabalindele abaphambili, asazi ngempela ukuthi unumber 1 uyophuma kule bhanti ephambili noma uba kwama lapha emva, kodwa isikhathi esiningi unumber 1 uyaqhamuka ebhantini elingemuva, asazi ngempela ukuthi uzokwenzeka. Kodwa siyabona into ngempela nomoya uthanda ukuba khona lana, asazi ke nokuthi liyokwenzeka yini record, kodwa ke mancane ama-chance okuthi bangacishe bagijime i-record ngenxa yokuthi kunomoya. Asazi ngempela ukuthi kwenzekani kuse-early-ke njengoba sibona ukuthi basagijime almost 14 minutes, okusekude ngempela phambili kuseseduze emuva, asazi ngempela kwenzekani. Siyabona lezi ezimbili laphana ezisizanayo isihleli lapha ephesini, asazi ngempela ke babukele bakhaya hlalane nimbukeke ngempela ukuthi kuzokwenzekani. Siyabona insizwa yenye iphumule lapha.
Or interesting to see there the split up amongst the lead runners in the 56, but on the right of your screen there We can see the athletes. They've probably got around 4Ks to go there in the half marathon, and in the yellow vest there, Ian, Lusapo April, he represented South Africa last year in the Olympic Games, and former race winner as well, together with Stephen Mokoka. So you've got two former race winners there with Gladwin Mzazi, and the pace they're running, this looks like they could get the course record today. They're really flying here.
Just to repeat, of course, the course changed last year, Kieran, and that's why the course record is not the fastest ever run in this race. It's the fastest ever is in the 62s. But these guys going for 64, there's no incentive for the course record, but of course the clubs look after the guys. But Lusapo April has been around a heck of a long time. I remember way back he won the SA Universities title back in 2005 of a half marathon, and that's 8 years ago now. He's still running international races.
Yeah, really a strong runner with a 2:09 marathon best, and you can see it's getting a bit tactical now. The guys are bunching up, but perhaps Lusapo can win it for the third time today. He's won it here 2 previous occasions, but when you've got a guy like Stephen Mokoka in 60.58 in windy conditions here in Cape Town last year, he always excels in Cape Town. He ran a 10,000 meter A standard Olympic Games qualifier last year as well, and a guy with a speed like that's really hard to break up from.
I'll just point him out in that group. Where's Mokoka?
Stephen Mokoka is on the right hand side of the screen with the sunglasses. You can actually see he's just watching the guys, and he'll be waiting for a kick near the end.
Well, it's all about the kick, of course. If they come together over the last, say, 400 or 500 meters, it's going to be an all-out sprint. And when they come on the field here at UCT, there's a little couple of turns, and there's a long way on the grass. Probably 200 meters or so, if not longer, on the grass, straight down the finish. We could see a sprint finish.
Siyabona ngempela ke insizwe ezihlanda phana zibambene, siyabona Implats Nedbank asazi ngezekani ngempela kona nenye insizwe esithipe kakhulu laphana uMkoka. Siyabona ukuthi uMkoka is just stacking behind there because I think Mkoka he got a big chance because he got a speed, and siyamazi ukuthi ugijima 27 minutes go 10 kilometers, and i-defending champion nayo ikhona laphana ngempela asazi ngezekani. Siyabona ukuthi njengamanje babambene ngempela, akekho ofuna ukuya phambili.
Well, there's a leader in the women's race. It looks like Yvette van Sail. A long shot from her. Well, very interesting to see Yvette out front because she was not that strong at the Spa race. But let's just check that with Kure.
Yeah, that's the top of Southern Cross Drive. Renee Colmer last year was a defending champion in the league there. But back to the men's race, and we see the Max Elite athlete Desmond Mokobu, the athlete on his right, Ian, in the Transnet colours, Gladwin Mzazi. Both of them represented South Africa last week. And the athlete in the yellow vest in the front, as mentioned before, Lusapo April, 2 times winner. Can he make it a 3rd time today, Ian?
Well, he certainly has the pedigree, but he's got to outsprint to Stephen Mokoka. Just a correction on what I said earlier. That was, in fact, Renee Colmer in the lead in the women's half marathon. There they go past. The leaders have probably gone past now, but I'm delighted to see Colmer in the front. She struggled a little bit at the Spa race. She was only 4th there. She was beaten by Rutendo Nehora and Zigli Ziniwe from Cape Town, but it looks like Colmer's back to her best and peaking for the Boston Marathon.
Siyabona ngempela ke izwe laphana sibanga yona u25,000 rank number 1 ozophuma laphana ku half marathon uzothola 25,000, kanti unumber ozophinda futhi abreak record uzophinda athole 25,000 rand. So ke unumber 1 ngempela mangasagijime kahle abreak record uzophuma nawo 50,000, aphinde athole ibonus ke ngoba siyakhumbula ukuthi ama club la amakhulu kukhona ama bonus akhiphayo. Ngempela siyabona ngempela ukuthi insizwa zidlana imlalo laphana azincengane ngempela iphezulu. Ngingakutsho nje ngempela ngithi cha ngendlela abagijima ngayo basekulona irecord ngoba phela irecord sokhumbula benze 64 last year, and ngicama ukuthi ngesikhathi ngendlela abagijima ngayo njengamanje bazocishe bawenze u62 minutes to, and I think they run about 62 minutes.
Yeah, this pace is really fast. Well, you can see them coming through the downhill just before Kirstenbosch, and this pace is around 240 per kilometer pace. You can see this Lusapo in the front there, really stringing things out, and as mentioned before, it might have been tactical, but you can see that there are guys dropping off the back of that, and Lusapo and Desmond Mokobu really pushing this pack.
Well, Kolisa Tiali won it last year in 64.54, just under 65 minutes. Amoni, Mahali and Satoni were there. But I think we're going to have a lot of changes this year. Stephen Mokoka still is possibly the guy to beat.
Back to the 56 kilometer, nice aerial shot there of our leaders, and you can see that there's an athlete who has a break in her head there. one lone athlete there, and you can see he's being followed again by the Kenyan Timothy Kibet and William Okolokola. But Ian, you can see that the third bunch there is where you've got Khates and Mark Fokaroni, Peter Taziripa, but then the main big pack behind. They can't let those guys go too forward in the front, because those are not your average TV runners.
Definitely not. But in these long races, the tactics are very, very different, and it's not about being in front when you get to Muizenberg or even at halfway. It's all about how you place yourself through the second half, and that's what happens there. So we just need to watch the situation as we go back now to the half marathon, and those guys are just about sprinting.
Yeah, this pace is really, really high. April in the front here, really pushing the pace, and you can see that he's quite relaxed. He has won this race 2 times before, but look at Stephen Mokoko with the glasses. I really think that he's just sticking there, looking at them, and he's really going to wait just for the kick at the end.
Yeah, given definitely, I think Mkoka, he got a better chance of winning the race, because we know he's very, very, very fast at the end. And siyabona ngempela ke njengamanje ukuthi lensizwa elapha phambili iyaphusha ngempela ipace. I think he is running fast. They're running definitely less than 3 minutes a kilometer. Siyabona ngempela ukuthi asazi ngempela izizikane. Siyabona ukuthi akusekude phela bafuna ukufinish ngamanje. Siyabona ukuthi ene cishe sokusele nje amakhilometha amancane bafake finish ngempela lezi ezo 5 lapha ke asazi ngizikane. Siyabona, and the gap Q&A is quite big.
I'm very impressed with the way Lusaka April looks. He's very relaxed. He's not scared to take the lead. He's 30 years of age now. That is very, very young in terms of road running. Nice and experienced. He's won this race, and he's clearly come here on a mission.
And what's nice also to see about this, Ian, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 athletes. There was a big international field in the half marathon today, but all 5 of these athletes have represented South Africa, and they're local boys.
Well, 52 minutes coming up, and we looked at sub 65, which is the record. I reckon that's going to go, although we haven't got a kilometre mark. But we'll see how many of them are still together at the finish. But I guess, Willie, the guys at the back of this little group are pacing themselves off Lusaka.
Definitely, Ian, siyabona ngempela ukuthi ke laphana insizwa dlane imlala, and njengoba sekuyashe uQN laphana ukuthi ngempela le insizwa zonke ezinhlanu ezilaphana ezalapha eMzansi Afrika, sokhumula phela bokhona nensizwa eKenya nezase kwamanye amazwe zigijima lapha, kodwa njengamanje sibona insizwa lapha eMzansi ezinhlanu ngempela asazi ngempela ukuthi ubani ozowina lo mjaho, and kodwa kuzoba nzima lozowina ngempela ngoba asazi ngempela kuyazekane. Siyabona ukuthi ngempela seziyakhona emaphethelweni njengamanje, siyayibona le insizwa elidayo laphana.
We've talked a lot about the wind today, but in fact in this race, certainly now, the wind really isn't a factor at all. A, because it's coming from behind them, and B, because it's quite sheltered. Lots of trees around there, just in the lee of the mountains off to their left, and it's quite sheltered. So in fact the conditions are very, very nice for running right now. Probably about 16 degrees, nice and cool, bit of cloud cover, and this environment is wonderful. So these guys are really going for it.
Yes, these guys are flying in, and they're on the downhill part of the course, but in about 500 meters from now they will make the left turn into Rose Drive, and that is when I think we're going to see a break being made. But now you see the Transnet athlete just on April's shoulder there, Gladwin Mzazi. He's never run this race before, the Two Oceans Half Marathon, but he was second last year in the SA Half Marathon Champs. He's got a 61:30 best, and these are world-class athletes that we're watching here.
Well, Transnet Rail Engineering, the guy Gladwin there in the second place, they've got a very strong club in Pretoria. They all work for the company and they get sponsored, and the women's team is very strong. In fact, they won the JP Morgan Corporate Challenge a little while back in Johannesburg, so they are another one of the clubs that puts lots and lots of money behind the runners.
Siyayibona ke insizwa laphana ke lesike singathi ukuthi kacishe iwine race Mkoka is very clever, because you can see that Mkoka is staying behind the bunch, and siyabona ngendlela agijima ngayo ukuthi ke usalindile ngempela, akasazi kwenzekani ngempela. Siyabona ziyaflya lezenzo ziyagijima ngempela, akuncengwana laphana lezinto ezo5 laphana, asazi ngempela ukuthi ke ubani ozowina ngoba siyabona khona insizwa ze-Transnet lapha ezimbili ne-Nedbank nayo leyansizwa elida lapha phambili ngempela asazi kwenzekani ke, asazi ngoba i-champion izakwazi ukuyidefenda ithathe ngoba ngempela kunzima lapha.
So Q, let's just have a look one more time at those top 5 guys.
In the yellow Adidas vest we have Lusapo April, 2 times former winner, On his right-hand side in the Transnet colours, Gladwin Mzazi. In the Nedbank colours, Joel Mone, he's a South African representative. And then the SA half marathon champion with the sunglasses, Stephen Mokoko in the Transnet colours. And the athlete at the back, formerly known as the Mr. Price Sport Club, Ian, but now Maxed Elite, Desmond Mokobu, who was fourth in last year's SA half marathon. So all of these athletes have got under 63 minutes for a half marathon. That's a vital stat to know. That is under 3 minutes a kilometre.
I'm very impressed with the Transnet Club. They've got 2 guys in the top 5, so they must be doing something right in Pretoria, so well done to them. Lusapa April, though, Kieran, if I'm not mistaken, is from the Eastern Cape.
Yes, he's from the Eastern Cape, Uitenhage, if I'm not mistaken. He trains out there with his manager and coach Perry and Karin, and really doing good things for him, you know. Really strong runner who's come up in the ranks, and you can see it now. This is poetry in motion with these guys running.
Lusapa April has made a graduation up from the half and the shorter races up very successfully to the marathon. He's got a very quick marathon PB, and he's now an all-round athlete.
Yes, 2:09 marathon PB, and he's world class now. Really, he selects his races. You know, he's not a lot like our other athletes who you could almost say it's almost like Tatama chance each week in races, running too many marathons. But he's world class, and that's why he's getting these results.
Yeah, definitely right. Siyabona ngempela ukuthi insizwa laphana ziyadlana inlala ngempela kunzima laphana kanti akusekude bacishe basale almost about 2 kilometers to go. Njengoba sasiqala sibona ke nendawo ukuthi sebeyafinisha laphana akusazongezekani. Siyabona manje ukuthi ngempela leyansizwa engemva ithanda ukuthi isale kancane ngempela asazongezekani. Le nsizwa emba phambili ile lead njalo nje bafethu lapha emakhaya nihlale nibukele sokuseduze phambili.
Keep an eye on that clock, coming up 57 minutes. And this is a climb. This is quite a difficult thing. You'll see it all the way through today. Coming up towards the finish at UCT, there are crowd barriers. They're going to climb up the hill, and it is really quite a tough little climb. Already one man dropped off the pace.
Yes, you see the maxed athletes at the back there. Desmond Mokobu has already dropped off, so you've got 4 left now in the race, Willie. But you can see Stephen Mokoko in the sunglasses. He's just sitting there. He's got a good rhythm going. He is quite relaxed, even though the pace is high. And if I was Lusapa right now, I'd rather just get back, tuck in the back, because they basically shielding the win for them.
Yes, definitely, Kieran. Stephen is running a very clever race here. He never went in front, and he just stuck behind the leaders. And ngempela siyabona ukuthi leyansizwa egijimela iMr Price efaka isibuko laphana number 2 njengamanje. Iyona insizwa esitikile ngempela ukuthi ingacishe iwele umja ngoba siyayibona ukuthi ihleli lapha emva ayizange ize nakancane iye phambili kodwa ke siyayazi ukuthi ine speed lapha masekuthiwa ke soqedwa.
It's a big deal financially for these guys. The first prize 25,000, the second 12. So there's a big old drop there from first to second. So, but Mokoko with the dark glasses and the Transnet colours and the 75128, he's just absolutely waiting for his chance to sprint. And now coming up to 58.5 minutes, and we're looking at somewhere maybe around 63 minutes. So we're all sitting at the finish. There are a lot of people waiting at the end here. It's quite blustery and breezy here at the finish. It's all eyes on the finish. They'll be flying down past us in just a short time, and then they probably have around about a minute or so on the track. That's about what they run on the grass.
And last week, Ian, Stephen Mokoko, one of our fellow commentators, Donovan Wright's son Dogan, is a top 800-meter runner in South Africa, and Stephen actually outsprinted him. So we have a marathon runner here who ran a 1:50 800-meter last week. And when you're coming through for a sprint finish like that, Ian, it's really hard to beat someone with that type of speed.
Very much so. Now it looks like the only 3 of them in the mix there, and Mamoni is just hanging in there. But April and Mokoko are the guys perhaps to beat.
Yeah, ngempela siyabona ukuthi sokusele insizwa ezintathu laphana esizibona sihleli lapha phambili ke sokuya ngakhona ngempela ukufinish asazi ngempela ukuthi kuzekwenzeka kodwa lensizwa engile ngikhale ngayo ukuthi iyona ngiyithikhayo la izowina lesiyibona ifaka izibuko laphana umqoka iyona engicama ukuthi ine chance eningi ukuthi enkulu ukuthi ingase iwine umdlalo. Siyayibona ke lensizwa April ke ebayile njalo njena izama ngayo kunje ngoba ngiyacabanga ukuthi iyazi ukuthi yansizwa lapha ehamba nayo ine speed ngempela asazi ukwenzekani esibheke nalapha ukuthi kuzokwenzekani.
Well, it looks like the podium at this stage with a little way to go. time now coming up. Let's look at that clock. 60 minutes. Mokoka, Momone and April. Who's it going to be, Donovan Wright?
Ja, ek sal my geld op Steven Mokoka sit wat definitief seker die vinnigste eindpogings het. En ja, ek ken die afrigters is natuurlik Michael Semme wat Steven afrig en Zachariah Polloking wat Joel afrig. So Lusafba, jy kan hulle vandag 'n ding wys op die eindpoging.
Kunjalo ngampela ke mfowethu Donovan ngampela siyabona ukuthi isikhathi ke manje sebenze i1 hour ngampela asibegijima njengamanje sebeseduze ngampela ke la finish bezodlula ngaphambi kwethu sibuka nezulu lihle impela izulu iwona nje umoya othanda ukuba khona kodwa ke siyabona ngampela definitely i-record bazoleza ngoba sebeseduze lapha bangaqhama noma inini kwi-finish.
Looking back at the field, we've got heavy tree cover at the finish, so some of our pictures get a little bit distorted by those trees from the helicopters. But back in the field, Southern Cross Drive coming up the hill. It is a long hill from the bottom. It's I'm not quite sure. I don't want to be exaggerate. A couple of kilometres long, and it's a steady climb. It's a Cape Hill, and as they turn right at the top, it is a huge relief because it's all of a sudden downhill. But here we go again. And Mokoka and April. Monet looks like he's given up the unequal struggle. So it is going to be a grass sprint.
Ja, Mthandazo wat na afval, Joel Monet wat ook natuurlik 'n bietjie probleme het, maar hierdie manne gaan definitief rondom 63 minute hardloop wat vergelykend is met Katmut Nyansango se 1 uur 2 minute wat voorheen gehardloop het, maar heidaglik is die rekord deur Kolisa Charlie 64 minute. Dit gaan definitief gebreek word.
Well, in fact it's just under 65, so it's now 61:30. They are making a little left turn, the M3 motorway all barricaded off. Cape Town pretty much shuts down in the southern suburbs for the Old Mutual Two Oceans. Also the Hout Bay and Stancher area gets pretty blocked up. But the city doesn't mind because it's a nice relaxed Easter Saturday morning. But they're still climbing up. They'll make a left-hand turn in just a short while, but it's now 62 minutes, Willie.
Siyabona ngampela ukuthi zimbili zibambene ngampela lezi ezimbili ke asazi ngapezekani kodwa ngiyabona cha manje lensizwa bengisho phela ithi ke iyona engiyibona ngathi ngacishe udlo umhlanganiso iyalida ke njengamanje nanjoko iqhamuka ngampela kasazi kwenzekani.
Ja, dis kenmerk en Steven het sopas so 2 maande gelede het hy internasionaal ook 'n halfmarathon gewen en dit lyk duidelik dat hy die vaste is tussen hom en Lucifer April en as hulle nou gaan links draai dan gaan dit neerkom op die grashardloop.
Well, it's 62.5 minutes now, so remember when they get to the grass, which is way off, it is still a minute and a half to run on the grass. So we've been gaily talking about the record today. Maybe the wind did take its toll earlier on.
Siyabona ngampela ukuthi ke sebeseduze sebekhona lapha eMome ngampela siyabona ukuthi ke liyazizwa seze 103. I think they will break the record because they only got maybe 200 meters to go.
Yeah, I think the record will probably go, but I don't think it's going to be smashed out of sight. This is not an easy course. I mean, Southern Cross Drive is a mission.
Ja, dis is omtrent seker naby 2.5 kilometer opklim. En as jy kyk, die manne het die hele veld verskuur vanoggend. Dis hulle wat nou alleen hardloop. Steven wat amper verkeerd hardloop daar en dit sal katastrofies gewees het. Hulle gaan nou op die gras kom. Jy kan die atmosfeer hoor. Wat 'n fantastiese oomblik.
Well, there goes Stephen Mokoki, timed his race perfectly, took the lead at about 20.5 minutes. They're going flying past our commentary position. Mokoka, April, Monet, that's going to be the podium. And these are the first runners finishing in the 2013 Old Mutual Two Oceans races, the half marathon. Stephen Mokoka is going to take the title. We thought he would. Lusapa April is going to hang on for second. Joel Mimone in the third place. And it is a long way down here. Remember last year it was full of mud. You could hardly move. It was centimeters deep, but conditions are great. Look at the flags blowing from behind them. And Mokoka is head down, and April still looks relaxed. Joel Mimone looks a little tired. But that's the winner of the 2013 Old Mutual Two Oceans Half Marathon, Stephen Mokoka, 64:20, new record.
Ja, fantasties. Soos ons voorspel het, nuwe rekord, ongeag die sterk wind. Willie, wat sê jy?
Yeah, definitely njengoba sike sasho ukuthi ke leyanto besitikile ngampela igcine iwudlile umhlanganiso we balenza le record uba ngingasho ukuthi cha ngendlela abagijima ngayo khona yize uma esubona ukuthi mningi kodwa bazalwenza record and bagijima kahle isikhathi esihle kakhulu. I think the way they ran is a very good time because the wind was quite heavy.
Ja, daar sien ons Zachariah Polloking wat vir Joel omjels met Nick Bester in die agtergrond. Maar hier is 'n intense halfmarathon. as ons kyk na die kwaliteit veld wat totaal verskeer was, hier kom nog van die manne in, Desmond en Kubo wat nou inkom, wat afgerig word, ook sy oefenmaat van Lucky Mohale.
Max Delete, formerly Mr. Price, and they'll be very, very prominent in the 56k. These guys now in the top 10. The prize money, of course, down to 10th place, and these folks will be running in the 65s. And this is it was a wonderfully competitive race, wasn't it, Willie?
Siyazibona ngempela ke insizwa laphana sezifinishile ke. Siyabona ngempela ukuthi cha insizwa ngempela bakunzima ngempela basiyakhumbula ukuthi lensizwa bezigijima zigroup laphana kodwa kuhambe kohamba zahlakazeka ngempela ke nje sibabona bafinisha njengamanje. Siyabona ukuthi kodwa isikhathi esihle basigijimile ngoba ngempela umoya bowukhona bowumkhulu umoya lapha. Asazi ngempela yona nentokazi azisekude nazo seziqhama nje khona manje.